Everybody, welcome to STG Weekly, episode 96, Espgaluda II. The F-Man, aka Frenetic, and I'm joined by my special co-host here. We have Aquas.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
We have Cream.
What's up?
We're joined by our also very special guest, Gus.
Hey, bro.
We're really excited to bring the attention to this kind of one of Cave's major works, but lesser played, I would say, due to its complicated mechanics that we hope to simplify and for you today. So we're going to be looking at Gus's replay of Espgaluda II, and hopefully we can clear up some of your questions in the chat. So please feel free to ask questions in the chat about the game, and we'll do our best to answer them. I'm going to start out with just a little description of the plot, what's changed from Espgaluda I. Okay, so I'll just read this quick introduction, and we'll get going. Espgaluda II. 3 years after the so-called Great Shinra War comes to a close, its impact has yet to fade. The formerly prosperous nation of Soma, one of the invasion's targets, still struggles to recover. In the midst of all this, Ajiha and Tatiha, along with their mother, newly freed from her self-imposed bonds, have retreated into hiding here, hoping to finally obtain some measure of peace for themselves. Little do they know that the country's researchers have been combing through the wreckage of Jaco's empire in search of the secret behind the Spirit Engine. Once the device's inner workings are finally deciphered, Soma's royal family quickly commences its own quest for military dominance. The children of Project Espgaluda find themselves hunted down once again and are forced back into battle. This time around, though, they're not quite so alone.
Nice.
I love those cave plots. They're just so wild, you know?
Oh, they are. They're really crazy. they're
Well, this one's cool. Like the plot almost reminds me of like a RPG plot or something like that. Like it's so rich that you could really see that these characters have something going on. The main characters are like these ESP children with the Spirit Stone, like Project Gone Wrong, and they're kind of going nuts, shooting beams out of their hands and etc. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and
they have gender bending powers too.
Those are powers indeed.
Like when they use the Kakase mode, the boy Ageha becomes a girl, and the girl Tateha becomes a boy.
That's right.
I think there's also historically in cultures, there's a lot of like transgender people that occupy like this very mystical center of a culture, which like magicians or like that third sex being like a different gateway or something like that.
That's a good point to bring up. Interesting.
So just a little point that this kind of continues a little bit of Espra days. Children that have like these special psychic powers and are being like wanted to be exploited by the government or other powers. And Pro Gear has that same thing too, where it's the young people that are the heroes. Anyways,
right.
It's pretty cool.
Not asking poetic about that. So, you guys want to speak more to it? Be my guest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it also just really plays into the awesome presentation of Galuda 2. Like, to me, Galuda 2 was always the cave game that I think had one of the best presentations. Not only just like the graphics are just really stunning and really nice to look at, the blue and pink bullets, but also the music complements it as well. Just kind of being a kind of Neo version of the first Gluda soundtrack, which is kind of like more kind of like straight like kind of techno like dance music, whereas Gluda 2 really expanded and added a really depth to the music that I think really plays into the gameplay as well when you see so many bolts on the screen and all these different cancels going on, and these kind of really extravagant medieval / fantasy style designs. It's just freaking awesome, like playing this game in general.
It's kind of like a symphonic techno. It makes it kind of like more epic sounding.
Epic trance. I get from my rave days. I get a big trance vibe from at least Espgaluda 1. You know, like
I can see that. I like trance music personally.
I always
we've
loved
been talking.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to give Gus. What's your input? Why did you like playing Espgaluda 2? And when you spent time with it, like, what did you like about this game?
Well, the thing that kind of like drew me to the game was its similarity to like that Futari God mode and Futari Maniac mode, all those bullet cancels and shit you got going on. And it's just a beautiful game, you know. Like you got that medieval art style mentioned. It's just really well put together overall. Of course, you got like that all that crazy bullet patterns going on, especially when like you go into a Zeishikai mode. I mean, like Mushi 1, that like may have been like the first SH free game, you know, that were like when they like tried to like push you to the limit, like show off all the bullet patterns they could do in the ultra mode there. But this, I think this is what like really set the tone for Cave's SH free phase, since you know, like you don't just have the bullet cancel, you like I mean, you don't just like have these big bullet patterns, but you've also like got that bullet cancel scoring.
Yeah, in that sense, like the game really becomes like a spectacle in the regard to like how Ultra looks with how the crazy patterns are. So that's probably what sounds like what you're kind of getting at there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It gives you what that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna see in the replay from Gus here some high scoring plays in this game, utilizing the new mechanics to Espgaluda 2. Gluda 1, which we have not covered on the show, we're going straight to Gluda 2, but Gluda 1 introduced the Kakuse, which is the awakening mode, and that's the main toggle gameplay mechanic, where you can slow down the bullets, and in general when you destroy an enemy who has fired bullets at you, in that mode, those bullets get canceled. So that mechanic is in Gluda 1 and also in Gluda 2. But in Gluda 2, they added Zeshikai, which is an advanced mechanic. So, Gus, do you want to try to start explaining Zeshikai and how it differs from the regular Kakuse in Gluda 2?
Yeah. So, you know, like a Kakuse, it's just like Gluda 1. You kill enemies in, you know, on like your normal mode. You get gems, and then like you go into Kakuse. You use those gems, go into Kakuse, you get gold, and then you go into Zeshikai, and that requires both gems and gold. But that's the primary scoring mechanic in there. It's just like, you know, Gluda 1 scoring really. Like you try to set up those big bullet cancels, and you get a lot of points for it.
You can actually see on the right, it tracks like the total scores in each mode. Like there's Kakuse, Zeshikai, and Kakuse over, which is like the when it overheats because you don't have enough gems. Right?
Right, that's correct. That's correct.
That's right. Kakuse over is like you're in Kakuse mode, but you have no gems to fuel it. Yeah.
And then all the bullets change red and are more violent towards you. So you generally don't want to be in that mode. So I understand.
That's true. But there are some kind of neat challenges where you can play the whole game, at least for Espgaluda 1 in Kakuse over. Like you just run out your counter and just play the whole game like that.
Yeah.
So just wanted to bring that up.
You can't do the cancels when it's overheated, but you do get the auto bomb that you got with Kakuse.
And there have been people who have cleared the entire game in Seishikai Overmode. And there are videos of that.
That's pretty cool. Because the bullet patterns really do change, like, significantly.
I also understand that gold doubles as the rank difficulty. So, like, the more gold you have, the more extreme the patterns get.
I know. That seems like something that might be in Espgaluda 1, but...
Well, yeah, that's the way it was in the first game, so... But that's just, like, I was wondering if that carries over to the second game, which I haven't played as much.
Yeah, I don't really, think there's a whole lot of rank in this Espgaluda 2.
Okay.
It's like kind of like a maniac mode straight away. Yeah, like in Futari.
What about the mechanic where when you're in over mode, you're charging a meter that fills up? It's a blue gauge around your character, and it charges up in levels. Was that affecting the rank? Because I know that plays a part into some of the setting up your scoring. Isn't that right?
I think it's just sets up you to get more gems and gold, really. That's about it.
That's it? Okay. But regardless, you do want to do that, and that's simply going into over mode, and you see a gauge filling up, and does it have like 3 or 4 levels that you have to fill up?
Yeah.
And then when you die, that doesn't reset, right?
Yeah, it doesn't reset. You just do that at the end of stage 1, and it stays like that for the rest of the game.
That's just a little minor thing there. That was unlike Galuda 1, where if you died, that would actually reset. And then you'd have to try to do that again while trying to recover at the same time, and kind of that type of thing.
Of those in the chat, if you guys would like to elaborate on certain points, please feel free to do so. Well, that being said, I think we've covered, at least introduced some of the mechanics, and Gus, we'll probably prompt you for some explanations as we go through the replay. So, do you guys feel comfortable with going through this replay now and seeing the mystery of Espgaluda 2?
I do feel comfortable, Frenetic. Very comfortable.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all comfortable at home. We're having a very special moment here. Gus is really going to show us how it's done, and so sit back, take notes, and hopefully after this episode, you're going to buy Espgaluda 2 and start playing it. I know I'm going to try to slot that in, and maybe
it is region free, by the way.
Indeed it is. And it also has a Platinum Hits release on the Xbox 360 as well. Cheaper.
Yeah, it's actually it's got a pretty fantastic port, with it's got the original arcade mode, it's got a 360 HD mode, it's got a range mode made by Yagawa, it's got a black label mode, and it's got Omake. Plus it's got novice modes. It's amazing port. One of the best that Cave has on the 360.
It is pretty amazing. And pretty good.
Can we zero it out and queue it up and then sync it?
Yeah, let's get this thing rolling.
Do it.
Pepsi Man for Mayor wants to know how many hours has Gus spent on this game?
Well, Gus, you want to answer that?
I don't know. Probably just a few hundred. I don't really think I wasn't really trying to get a world-class score here. Just kind of play a little bit, get something I was happy with.
Okay, cool.
Something I wanted to try out. It wasn't like a serious project for me like Ultra was.
Cool.
I see.
Good That's a good info.
Guys at home, like you could probably get to this, again, not a super time commitment compared to other games, but hundreds of hours await you. So all of pain and pleasure.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of these cave games are so deep too. It's like you really can't spend that amount of time, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like that long really, because it's so fun.
There's a lot of alternate modes too in the game. Like you have your black label, you have your arrange, you have novice. There's like the hidden omake. So
Right.
there's a lot of variety too.
Right. Okay. And of course, we are looking at the arcade mode here. Okay, let's go
Yes.
through with the countdown then, and let's get into this thing. 3, 2, 1, Kakse!
Hey. Going into awakened mode, guys.
I'm gonna awaken after this episode.
We're playing which character here?
Ageha, the main protagonist.
You're building up gems, right? Are you point blanking enemies because they give you more gems if you point blank them?
Oh yeah, you do get more gems here for point blanking enemies. Like the hierarchy goes, you get the most gems by point blanking them with shot. Then you get a bit less gems just by using them with killing them with laser. And the range doesn't matter when you kill them with laser. But then you get the least amount of gems by killing them with shot at a distance. So generally speaking, you either want to be point blanking with shot for gems, or you can't do that, just killing them with laser.
Yep.
You immediately go into Zeshikai mode right now, huh? And then you do that so do you get the score right before this mid boss, yeah?
Yeah, what's going on here is I kind of use this trick where you hold down that Zeishikai button, and if you don't have enough gold to go into Zeishikai, you'll just kind of go into Kakusei. But the first enemy that you kill, you will get gold, and then you'll just enter into Zeishikai automatically.
Oh,
waste gems going out of Kakusei and into Zeishikai.
That's really important. And then you just quick kill the mid boss, right? By just using charge laser.
Yeah, that
right.
way a bunch of extra enemies appear, so that way I can get more points.
I see. Thank you for that. Here, guys, you can practice this stage 1 and just try the scoring trick of going to Zeshikai, and Kakusei, and then killing into a quasi Zeshikai mode. Kill an enemy, you get the gold. Then you go into proper Zeshikai.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
So much, guys.
Was that
Okay, first boss.
This replay, I kind of missed that countdown thing. I was taking a piss.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sorry. So, can you tell us again how you activate Zeshikai? Because I wasn't completely clear on how it activates.
You hold down the Kakusei button, and that is the way to activate it instead of just tapping it.
I
Yeah.
see.
So do you really need a countdown
Uh,
or timestamp?
Yeah, just give me a timestamp.
Okay. Yeah, 3:07, 8, 9, 3 minutes 10 seconds, 13.
So we just killed the first boss here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
3:18.
Okay, so yeah, and something important to mention, I actually go out of my way there to not have too many gems before not have too much gold before the first boss, because I'm also gonna be using that trick where I go from a Kakusei into a Zeishikai on the start of this second stage here.
Now you're in Zeshikai. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you see what's going on there?
So is the timing for that kind of picky to do that, kind of skip that step? Sounds like is what that does.
What step do you mean?
Like, you're saying you switch to Zeshikai when you don't have the gold, but you're killing an enemy at that same time. Is that's how it's working to switch over?
No, it's actually very simple. Like if you don't have the gold and you hold down the Kakusei button anyway, like you're going to Zeshikai, like all you need to do is like keep holding that button, and once you get gold, you'll just automatically enter into Zeshikai.
Okay.
Kind of like an empty Zeshikai mode. But you have the button held, you don't have the gold, you kill an enemy, it spawns gold, and then it fills your gold meter, then you enter Zeshikai.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. All you need to do is hold down the button, and that's what goes on. But here we have these two fountains here of gems. That is fucking random bullshit. 50% of the time it gives you gold, and that ends up giving you a little bit less opportunity for score. That's probably that's really might be the worst design decision that they made in this game, to like have that part completely random. I don't know what they were thinking there.
It's cave. What are you gonna do? These cancels are pretty sexy, have to admit.
Oh yeah, look at all that golden numbers. It's like The Price is Right times a million. I don't even know what that means.
It's incredible, man. It's like watching this whole like a steampunk painting in motion.
I like that. So getting some gems there and approaching the end of the stage here.
Oh, I don't think we talked about Cesare. She was the first boss, right?
She wasn't the first boss. She's in the first boss in Espgaluda 1, but I don't know.
Well, she's coming later then.
Actually, it might be the male form of Cesare is the first boss here. I'm not really sure. I never paid really much attention to the story.
I see. Well, she's one of the most popular characters in this game, if not the most popular. She's like the jealous cousin that's like out to get the kids, and in this game she gets turned into like a mechanical cyborg. It's pretty crazy.
She's kind of a brat, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's so Cesare is so tsundere. Oh my gosh.
So you finish off the boss there in Kakusei, or is it Zeshikai? Zeshikai, yeah. And that's just an easy way to get some bonus points at the end of a boss fight. In general, as I understand.
And here I'm kind of using this counter between stages. I'm kind of letting it run down all the way, to kind of take a breather between stages. It's not like Futari where like the counter lasts like 10 minutes. You can like just go take a piss during it, but it kind of gives you a little bit of time to breathe here.
Sure.
Cool. The pause that refreshes, which is in the game, guys, so it's not cheating.
Oh yeah.
Nice. I wonder if they do that at the arcades, like they just go to the bathroom while it's counting.
Yeah, I do that when I'm streaming Futari Ultra.
Nice.
Streaming while you're streaming, right?
God damn it. It doesn't have to go downhill, you know. So some sick cancels going on right here.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing here. It's not actually all that complicated. It's just like Espgaluda 1 really. It's just like just a little bit more spectacular.
That was really beautiful, Gus. That's really awesome.
So this mid boss coming up, this was kind of a run ender for me. I'm not really like even using the hardest strat that I could be here to milk it.
And X Hunter says stage 3 and meme already. I love it.
So here, you know, this whole, I mean, what I'm doing here is I'm kind of trying to soften the parts of this boss, so that way I can kill him quickly when it's time to go into Zeishikai. I mean, this part, if you noticed before, like I wasn't just like using the straight rapid C shot to like kind of soften some of these parts. What I use is like the tapping A shot, because that way you get a fixed amount of fire. So that way it's easy to predict how much damage you're going to deal.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
See, so you're staggering damage. So you're just right before you can kill him. Now you're kind of, so you're pausing here to get to this phase. Okay. Then you go to Zeshikai. Okay.
He's just trying to make it so it'll get all the cancels ready for one big, you know, firework, essentially, which is going on right now.
The funny thing is, this isn't even the full milk. I practiced the full milk, and yeah, it was just too fucking hard for my goal. But you can see that, you know, when you look up Yozu super play or Asa's super play, they do the full milk, and it's pretty nuts.
Oh, cool.
I tried this, and it was just a little bit too hard for me.
Jammers91 points out the first game is actually a lot easier than this one.
And you see here, I'm kind of going to Zeishikai over to get some gold here.
Some extra gold, okay.
Yep.
So a lot of it's just kind of coming up with a good route through the stages, I'd imagine, for when to, you know, get your stuff collected, and then when to use Zeshikai. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's really just about having a good route. It's not like it's not exactly rocket science here. It's really just.
Yeah, and these aren't like, you know, Dodonpachi like chaining routes. These are just routes for, in general, when to change over the modes and stuff. So in that way, yeah, it's actually pretty lenient, isn't it?
Not actually, dude. Like what happens when you die is it actually like halves your gold value. So you know, there's some shit sometimes, you know, it could totally fuck up your route.
Okay.
There's been numerous times I've had to just like restart just because of one death. It's when like you get to a high level, it's not really a whole lot more lenient than Dodonpachi.
Okay, I see that. Because then if you die, yeah, you're probably trying to recover a good route somewhere, and if you can't do that, then I would imagine scoring gets pretty botched. To get the special extend there, that was gotten from destroying all the parts of the mid boss, and then by not using your energy gauge until that point, you can then use the energy gauge to unveil that one up on that little chimney there.
Yep.
Does my mic not sound good today? Just wondering.
It sounded great.
It's sounding good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, this boss here, this boss here, this was another run ender. This was a point where I die a lot, and there were a lot of runs thrown out at this point.
During this boss, you say?
Yep.
Just a few people said that my mic quality was suffering, so just wondering if I can like fix it.
Oh yeah. Check out these flowers.
Boost yourself up, Cream.
Okay.
So yeah, these are destructible flowers here.
How's that?
It was fine before, honestly, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably too loud now, in fact.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Alright. I'll leave it like this.
And yeah, see here a lot of people, like even if like they don't have much trouble with this pattern, But it is pretty fucking hard to know it's no bomb. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people will do what I did there. You know, kind of a bombing right there because it puts you in a perfect spot to point blank the boss to get optimum gems.
Some gold at the end of the fight. Okay.
Yeah, some gems.
Gems. Okay. Gotcha. Misheard you.
So coming together here, brah. You kind of seeing what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, this is pretty sick. For me, I'm coming from this viewpoint. I actually only play this game for survival myself. You can just play this game for survival with the regular Kakusai, and it plays like Galuda 1, but you know the game. I mean, it really opens up with this, and we're seeing it. It's just as simple as getting kind of a nice route out, and then trying to pull it off, and hopefully don't die at the bad place. So yeah.
Yeah,
This
it
is pretty
really
fun.
isn't really any more complicated than Kitsui. I don't really know why it has such a reputation of being complicated.
I think it's just what it looks like. It just looks overwhelming at surface value, I think. But yeah, you're right. Like it seems a bit overstated when really it's just as simple as, you know, getting recancels over and over during the Zeshikai mode.
Yeah.
And
It's just a matter of you know, building up your gems, building up your gold, and then doing a bunch of cancels and JCkai. There's not really a lot more to it.
and you're just kind of like hurting bullets a little bit during the Zeshikai to kind of avoid these suicides, and kind of like some simple tap dodging stuff there. Doesn't look. I mean, you do have to be careful, right, of coming out of Zeshikai because everything kind of points at you. But then you can.
Yeah.
But then you also looks like you cancel out. You can also get rid of those bullets too by going into Kakusei immediately after. Is that what just happened there?
You can cancel all those return bullets that you get from a Zeishikai by going into a Kakusei.
And that'd be as simple as just collecting a couple gems after Zeshikai then.
Yeah, or just using a few leftover gems.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And,
Cool.
Here, this boss. Here I'm using a bomb here, which is actually pretty difficult to time properly. But the idea here is ideally you want it to have just a low HP, so that way you can point blank it with shot while you're still invulnerable. But it had a little bit too much HP there, so I had to resort to a laser.
Ah, cool.
One thing that I should point out is that you can actually like charge up your like bomb shield thing with C, and like you can like absorb bullets with it, and it gets stronger, right?
Yeah, you can absorb bullets with it, but it won't make it more powerful. What makes it more powerful is just holding it down for a longer period of time, and that costs a little bit more of your bomb game.
Okay. But yeah,
This sweeping back and forth into Zeshikai mode is pretty crazy.
I like the bomb mechanic. It's pretty cool. I think it uses like 1/4 by default of the meter.
Yeah, 1/4 by default, but and you can charge it by full power by using a little bit less than half.
Yeah, in which case it turns yellow instead of green aura. I believe when it's fully
Also,
charged.
I didn't get to point out like just how jamming that stage music is, and happy. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Like for some reason, I never really got into that whole Black Label soundtrack. I was always just using the regular arcade version soundtrack, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Weeha again reappears, named after his laugh.
This one is beautiful.
Yeah, I call this guy Monitor Man because he's got a bunch of monitors and he laughs at you on them. And this guy appears a few different times in the game. He originally appeared holding the gun sideways like a bro. And stage 2, right?
I kind of wish there was more like backstory on him, because like He's pretty memorable.
He's freaking Monitor Man. I mean, that's backstory enough. I'm Monitor Man.
Yeah, but...
And he's always like laughing at you. Like I always remember that about him too.
That's fair enough.
This boss is pretty challenging.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge here, and what you're coming up to see is actually an intentional death because I was just too fucking scrubby to fight Shinsei Sayori, and plus it gives me a little bit more gems, so I can do a nice bullet cancel here.
And can you tell us about Shinsei Sayori, since that's not going to be showing up here?
Yeah, it's a much harder version of the Stage 5 boss that only shows up if you no miss up to that point. But it is worth a little bit more score, and so you will see some super players go do fighter. The world records, all of them are actually no misses of the entire game.
Oh.
Is there a particularly large bonus for no missing? Aside from
the end game bonus is pretty fucking ridiculous. You get an extra 20 million for every extra life that you have, so it definitely adds up.
Okay, that seems like a decent chunk for sure.
There's actually been some runs where I've just had a shitty fight on the final boss, and I had to restart because even though my score was pretty good up to that point, I mean, this fucking end game bonus fucked me over.
Fucked over your score?
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
Nanematic says Shinsei Sayori with double HP.
I've had higher scoring runs than this up to this point, but they for some reason I died a few times on that last stage, and so yeah, those weren't the run.
Okay, gotcha. That's how big of a difference it is.
Yep.
So don't fucking die. And plus, you need those lives for the last boss. Like, even if you're not going so crazy with score, like you pretty much need some lives to beat the last boss, regardless.
Actually, no. This is a pretty well balanced last boss fight. That you don't need to. It doesn't have those auto bomb patterns like you see in other cave games.
Oh, cool. All right, we'll see. We'll see how that's done. Awesome.
But there is RNG involved, so yeah, that's how you kind of get fucked up.
Okay.
Gus, is it true that Shinsei Sayori has double HP?
I don't know.
Like
you haven't tried?
Yeah, I haven't really fought her much, but when I did, it didn't really seem all that much different. But it was just these patterns are a lot more difficult, so the fight felt a bit long.
Oh, also, Falcon the Fearless wants to know, what will we do to celebrate 100 episodes?
Nothing.
Something to think about, right? Yeah.
I know, right?
So, okay, maybe we'll think about that. Yeah, it's coming up.
We'll have every guest on at once.
That would be awesome.
It'll be like
Let's do it.
just a crazy party.
I've always really loved this stage music, and how well it's synced up to this stage. Like I can just imagine like playing this in the arcade. People just like being blown away by this shit.
Yeah, the soundtrack really does fit the game pretty nicely.
But especially to this stage here.
What's also interesting too is when you're using Zeshikai so much, it does slow down the stages, like the scrolling. So in that way, it might change up how the music goes to the game as well.
It is kind of unfortunate that Manabu Namiki, I think that's who made it. He did an excellent job here of getting this shit set up to like sync with the game, like in the stage 5, you like there's just a slight beat drop, and then like you kind of like you get that backwards scrolling part, but
yeah,
guy that's kind of throwing off a little bit.
Nanomatic says Cesare actually has 3 new boss themes in Black Label.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. In Black Label, you get to play as Cesare and have her like fight herself, so it's pretty interesting.
Oh, cool spot.
Safe spot? Oh, wow.
Well, here's the thing with the safe spot. You can't just like stay in the same place. You gotta kind of move like with Cesare, so you're not entirely safe. It's just kind of a different method of dodging.
Okay.
Oh.
Still though, it's pretty swag looking, if you ask me.
Yeah, it looked like last week's Toho episode right there.
Yeah, totally.
This pattern's always kind of annoying. Learning it anyway. Nice cancel.
It's just tap dodging, really. It's like it looks like that pattern that Larsa does in Futari Ultra, but it's not really nearly as hard.
Extruder X asked, does Cesare not have Galuda powers? And the answer is no, she doesn't. That's why she's a cyborg, and that's why she hates the main characters.
But she does in Black Label.
Game is alive in Black Label. Oh, Cesare, we'll give you it all.
Yes.
I don't know, like, I think Tattoo has cooler than Cesare, just whatever.
Cesare would look as a boy. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Does she have a boy form in Black Label? I haven't played Black Label.
She does.
Oh, ooh, yeah. Best of both worlds.
Yep. Just got the cyborg animation for that character. Get wrecked. So, moving on.
So here you're seeing some of that counter rundown thing I was talking about. I was pretty nervous up to that point. This was basically a perfect run for me, aside from a little bit less optimized scoring.
How recent is this replay, anyway?
From 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think there were a few times actually where I had over 500 million after, say, Sayri, but for various reasons I kind of had to throw those runs out. Mainly due to that fucking in-game bonus.
Ah, right. Okay, gotcha. That's kind of intense. So, like, survival is like, it's pretty relevant still. Very relevant.
People don't really seem to realize this is actually a very survival-based game.
Even while you're doing the scoring, true as well. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
The scoring, since it gets a lot harder with these whole Zeishikai shit.
It's a good point.
You gotta like deal with all these return bullets and their RNG.
It's a good point. Like, it really changes how the gameplay is a lot. If you're just compared to just using Kakusei, if you choose to.
Yeah, with just Kakusei, I don't think survival is really all that difficult at all. It's a very different game when you're trying to optimize your scoring here.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even do a fully optimized route. I mean, I think that this is a pretty good route to copy if like you're just kind of like learning the game, but this isn't like world record tier shit here.
Okay.
Just kind of a solid scoring base.
Cool.
Western.
It's nice that we have a replay like that because you can fall into the crutch sometimes of like copying too good of a replay, and then like you might be doing some stuff that you don't understand why it's happening exactly, and then you might not be able to put together a route. But sometimes a lesser route can be more stable. So it's nice that we have a good replay like that.
These Japanese guys, they actually like put a big emphasis on their route planning on stability. You know, like not including shit that's too hard for you to do consistently.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know.
Got some nice music going on here.
Those type of routes. Shout outs to One Sissies by the French players over there. Really great jobs, you know.
Did they do a Galuda 2 episode? Or something?
There are a lot of people in France that play these games.
For sure. Stunfest, yeah.
So here we're kind of fighting that stage 4 mid-boss again. You know, with those destructible hands.
Oh, it's the same one. Cool.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention back then, but there's actually a point in the fight where its hands are invulnerable. You kind of have to wait for him to open them up before you can damage him.
Nice timing on those destructions. Yeah.
It's so fun just watching the score explode like that. You know?
Yeah, it's a very good spectator game. Cave's SH3 output in general, it's I think that part of the reason why they went towards that bullet canceling was to kind of try to draw in people with these flashiness here.
Yeah.
And gigantic scores. That's like part of the appeal, I think. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of money in those people who just play a few times until they get that cheesy easy 1cc. The money is in these guys who sink hundreds of hours into it. You know, like who pay like shitloads of cash every month.
Yeah.
Months on end, trying to plan out these score routes. Those guys who, you know, credit feed shit.
Right.
They usually put out a home version though, so you can like practice at home.
It took like 5 years for him to come out with a home version. So that's like,
yeah.
And by that point, the game was pretty close to being maxed out already.
Right. Yeah, these are the Alice clones here, biting the bullet.
Yeah, this part is worth a shitload here. It's very important that you don't fuck this up.
Because there's so many of the Alice clones and they all fire at you, and then, you know, when you're in Zeshikai too, more bullets are being fired from enemies as well. That's true, right?
Yep, that's true. It like doubles the amount of fire that you're getting.
It's also partially true for just regular Kakusai as well.
No, I think regular Kakusai is I think that's pretty. That doesn't like really give you as much fire as like you get in Seishika. But and here, this part, this section is actually a little bit harder than it looks here. That I actually did die a lot of times attempting that.
That looked kind of tricky at the end there, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice job getting through there. And
yeah, and I think my best run here was I think I came here with about like 620, maybe 630 million. It's really too bad that I had to throw that run out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see 3 characters inside that robot machine thing. I'm pretty sure the one on the top is King Jacko. Do you know who the other 2 are?
I never noticed there was anybody on that top.
Oh. And I think
Jacko, and it's a fusion of Soma's royal siblings, Tsubame and Janome.
Interesting. The story's pretty wild. I like it.
Yeah, you know, it's like I was saying, it's pretty much the game that inspired the scoring system for Futari Maniac and God mode. It's basically a deeper version of those games.
I can see the similarity, yeah.
The sort of dodging going on here, this is actually pretty lucky. Like if I did that in practice like 5 times, I'd fuck up 4 times. This was the one time that I got it.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even notice at this point that I had like 5 lives to spare. If I did, I probably would have been nervous as fuck. I would have fucked this up if I did notice.
One-chan, that means, brother, let's go.
Hype music.
So this is literally the only part of the final boss that's like an auto bomb pack. Aside from that, everything is dodgeable. But this deal up here where like I'm going in and out of these circles, there is some fucking RNG here, and even a super player like Asa. If you look up his run, he gets some bad positioning from those kids. He runs into them, and that fucks up what was a potential world record replay.
Dang.
We're getting some comments on the storyline here.
Okay.
Yeah, just, I don't know, people saying like, cave plots are messed up, which they kind of are, I guess.
Well, I definitely appreciate the amount of detail.
Yeah. Like, I think it's awesome. Just like how inspired their stuff is.
So, check out this safe spot here.
Sick. Just doing a little bit of left and right movement there. Cool.
Extruder X wants you to add episodes 83 through 96 to the stream description.
Alright, can do.
Morth1 wants Gus to elaborate on what he thinks of survival play.
Well, like I said, survival play, I don't really think that there is anything especially impressive about like doing survival play in this. So this is a game that's all about the scoring game.
Yeah, I have done survival exclusive runs just using Kakuse myself, and it becomes just more like resource management, like using the Kakuse to help yourself just slow down certain bullets and cancels and stuff, and actually it's just kind of nice to manage resources and stuff, but you know, there's a lot more to be offered here using Zeshikai. I mean, I definitely would recommend it.
Nice run,
after
Gus.
seeing this. I mean,
Nice
yeah, great
run.
Great finish there.
Dang. Wow. Dang.
So you didn't die in that last boss, did you?
I died one time on the second phase.
Oh, okay. That didn't. It wasn't too much of a loss, though.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of a loss. It was only about like 10 million loss. That actually is kind of a lot. But yeah, I hit 800 million, and that was about all I was going for.
Cool.
Great job.
So
Hopefully that will, yeah.
that's a wrap.
What about that Shin Sensei replay?
All right.
We've got a special treat. Shin Cesare was mentioned earlier, and you'll get to see what happens when this is when if you no miss up to her, right? She'll appear.
Yep.
Okay, let's cue that up and get a little glimpse at Shin Cesare.
Alrighty, give me a moment.
Cesare the Tsundere. Yeah.
People probably want her to be a tsundere.
I like to think that tsundere represents like out of like the games that I like, the brutal games remind me of like a tsundere character, and you know, she's always egging you on like, oh, you think you can beat me? Well, here's a bullet spread and you're died, and you're like, oh no. So you can always keep on trying to talk to the tsundere. You know, she'll listen to you. You know, at least.
That's a nice personification there.
So that's how I like. I use that with like games that I'm playing. Like I'm playing. When you play cave games and other difficult games, you know, you can always challenge again. You know. It doesn't go like, well, you fucked up this too many times.
The games themselves are tsundere. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, and they're kind of personified in like Cesare and this. At least for me, that's why I like. I find that facet kind of expressed in the character of the game, in the character that's in the game. You know, so.
I see. Okay, I see what you're getting.
Yeah, this is the F man. So.
The sin is the bullets, and the dere is the scores.
You heard it here on STG Weekly.
All right, let's start this.
I like it, bro.
Let's start this damn blurry replay here. So, all right, I'll do countdown here. 3, 2, 1. Shin Cesare. So for no missing, you can fight this mid boss.
Yep. This is the reward that you get for no missing up to this point. This guy's really good, but this boss is actually like really hard for most people. Like the reason that I avoided fighting her was it was just like too risky. Even with the no miss up to this point, like I ended up losing way more lives here than I would save from my dying once before.
I see.
At the final boss, yeah, even because you only died once to the final boss.
Yeah, and even that was on something that I'd normally be able to dodge in practice, but I guess I just kind of fucked up a little bit.
There's that spot again.
Yeah, it's really not until the second phase that you start to see why this is such a difficult fight. Okay, so now shit's gonna get real here.
Reminds me of the boss in Espgaluda II.
Oh yeah, the last boss's pattern you're talking about.
So.
Whoa!
Oh, the realness.
That's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh. What the?
That's a pretty cool looking one.
Yeah, these are some pretty beautiful patterns, but this one coming up, this is the one that really made me want to like not even bother. This is bullshit.
This pattern here, in the corner.
Yeah.
That corner looks kind of rough. Doing the tiny dodging with even with the focus on in this game can be tricky.
Yeah, and I think there might actually be a little bit less slowdown on the port on that part.
Ah. Nice slip through there. It was like that one. It was like that one freaking opening there.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive dodging here.
Dang. Oh, energy.
Cut across. Oh, okay.
I like the voice clips too. How he shouts when he uses the energy gauge, like "Get off me, fuckers!" Agaha, fucking dude's in there. Oh man, that he's in the mix.
What?
It's kind of like that Mushi 1 TLB pack.
Damn. He just had that fucking perfect nook somehow. Man, what a Brad, stupid boss.
I do kind of like the idea of buying the TLB before the actual before the last stage. That's kind of a cool concept.
Kind of raises the stakes a bit.
Pepsi Man for Mayor says she has a leg that turns into a gun. Why is she so mad again? And I think we explained earlier that she doesn't have the Galuda powers, but she wants the Galuda powers. So, yeah.
Little cut screen where she has the tears come from her eyes. Oh.
Yeah. Poor Cesare. So moe.
Fuck.
And so this fight, I think it's worth about if you can't do this perfectly, it is worth about 30 million more than the usual Cesare fight. So it's definitely worth it to do this if you're going for a world records here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there isn't really a world record of these 1 billion plus runs, but I think between what we have here, a Yozu Super Play on both the arcade and Xbox 360 mode, and plus this newer Asa replay, which kind of shows a little bit more refined routes, even though it's with Asagi, we have an idea of how to get pretty close to the world record.
Nice. Anyone can gun for it. You gotta go full shmup though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this can tell you all about going full shmup.
You could.
Yeah, definitely.
This is really this is kind of the quintessential cave game. Shepard is kind of set in that shmup's form thread. You got counters on top of counters, slow down on top of slow down, scoring on top of scoring.
Right. It has it all. Plus all those other freaking modes if we didn't even talk about too much. I mean, Black.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a whole another can of worms here that we could even revisit this game and maybe talk about Black Label another day or something like that.
We can let Cesare live the dream.
Yeah, there's a really nice arrange mode on the port that's actually designed by Shinobu Yagawa. They brought him on, and he basically turned it into one of his style of games with this whole boss milking, extends, and suiciding.
Okay, I didn't know that was the Yagawa thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
We have Fog Manatic asking, does STG Weekly have any suggested picks from the Steam Shmup sale?
Yeah, definitely.
Buy them all. Buy them all.
There's some great games on there now. You got Escatas, you got Darius Burst on. Both of those are on sale. Definitely, maybe worth checking out. Mushihime-sama is $8. You should definitely pick that up. Decimiles is on there. Pick that up. Get the Triangle Love, Shooting Love 10th Anniversary Collection. You should get that, and also you should get the 20XX Collection. You should also get Tales of Eltonix bundle. And there's also some other indies in there. It might be worth picking up. There's a lot of good games in there. Check out the Shmup Steam Sale, now available on Steam.
Crimson Clover.
Crimson Clover, yeah, definitely pick up Crimson Clover because that's like $2. $2 freaking bucks.
Reflex, Cetasius, all the new
many
media.
Yeah, many games that we've even covered.
Delta Zeal, X Zeal, the Zeal games.
Yep.
Sora's on there. We covered that episode for Fruit Bat Factory and Orange Juice, all the Orange Juice
Yeah,
stuff.
I can definitely get Sora. Sora's pretty cool too.
QP shooting.
Like then you
Dragon Adventure.
you get all those games, you'll be set for 2017, but pretty much. Just jumping ahead.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Seriously though, you should probably get Mushi if you don't have that, and
Mushi.
that's pretty sick.
Did Death.
Escatas.
For the don't be buying the PCB for the price of a PCB. You can get all these shmups, just get it.
Yeah, don't be fooled into spending like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, Raiden 4, I should mention.
Raiden 4 is also pretty cheap on there. It's like $3 or $4. So a lot of good deals. The shmuppening is occurring. The great shmuppening of 2016. So.
Well, guys, Gus, do you have any other parting words for us before we wrap up the episode, or should we get some questions from chat?
Yeah, this Steam sale. This is some dope shit right here. It might be the best thing that ever happened to the job. Like, you've got all these games here. You can buy for just a few bucks a game. And it's all going mostly to straight to the developer. There's no middleman here. There's no used market to cut into the profits. It's a great thing, really, that we have set up with this Steam. It's a much brighter prospect than being stuck on a console like the Xbox 360 that might fail on you and shit, or that you might lose. This is great.
Seriously, yeah. So if anyone has any interest in shmups or getting into them, now's the perfect time. Especially if you're on a budget.
Yeah.
Because these are some good ass sales. These games are a bit more pricey when they're not on sale, so it is pretty awesome. The Steam landscape, they're going out on a limb for us, and so we should go out on a limb for them and play some freaking shmups.
Gus, do you want to link your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
We have people curious about that.
Get those links in there.
This Espgaluda II, it's like I was saying, it is a game that it deserves more play, especially from the people who might like God mode and games with lots of bullet canceling. This is really a game that can appeal to people who are into that sort of thing. If you're not scared away by all those numbers on the screen and shit, all those multipliers, all those counters and shit, it's not really all that complicated. Like I've been saying.
Yeah, I think you did a good job demystifying it for this episode, and that's perfect. It's perfect. Now maybe we might have some more new players and people want to try this out, and it's fucking fun. It's fun as fuck.
Yeah, and I think it was a pretty important game in Cave's history for kind of setting the tone for the rest of their SH3 output with this bullet canceling scoring, these crazy huge patterns. Combining those two things. This was pretty much the first team to really combine those two things, and that slowdown on top of slowdown.
Yeah.
It's kind of I've kind of criticized the Cave in the past for doing like Futari did with that slowdown, that fucking speed up that occurs right afterwards. That seems that seems kind of shoddy to me. I'd rather them just do slow patterns. But I think in this case, it actually kind of works pretty well because you've got a button that kind of induces it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I linked your YouTube channel on the chat, by the way, so people can see your streams and stuff.
Yeah, my YouTube channel. It's just called FXNJ. I'm planning on streaming there again on the next few days, playing Futari Ultra.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's what you've been playing lately. That's cool.
Yeah, it's what I've been playing lately. It's what I've been playing for the last few years.
Awesome.
Yeah, but
we'll have to get you on for Futari Ultra, I guess, at some point here, eh?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I just feel like that's my game.
There you go.
I think he's playing 1.01 these days, since 1.5 has been maxed out.
Fun.
Yeah, I got tired of dealing with that there counter stack. So I'm playing a game that's got like a 1 pixel hitbox. I'm not a big fan of the 1 pixel hitbox, but I don't really have much of a choice.
Okay.
But Espgaluda II, though, I'm kind of feeling here like maybe a cave here set out to make a game about the limitations of making a game, like how you have this scoring built around a button that you press that not only induces slowdown by itself but doubles fire, so that way it introduces slowdown that's induced by the hardware. Yeah,
I think I see what you're trying to say there.
Yeah, it's kind of meant as a kind of a postmodern shmup.
Can you speak a little bit more to that, guys? The postmodern shmup.
You start out with Space Invaders shit. Just RNG shit, all about the gameplay. Then you kind of move away from that towards the eye candy. Those infinite looping games and shit, Tatsujin that kind of had actual stages and shit to impress people. And then you got Cave's earlier games, a kind of Dodonpachi, Diojo, where they just kind of tried to build off of that Tatsujin mold and with some scoring systems, but they weren't entirely built around slowdown. They weren't entirely built around pushing the hardware to the limits. But then you get to SH3. That's kind of what it's about. This they put in this eye candy, these spectacular patterns,
explosions,
and the hardware just can't really take. So it kind of has to slow down a little bit. I think that's kind of that was something they thought that would kind of draw people in. I think that would make it feel a little bit more epic, something different than you normally see, because normally slowdown is something that developers try to shy away from. They see it as part of a shoddy programming. But Cave in this period, they kind of embrace slowdown, try to make themselves stand out a little bit from those other games on the market. Feel a little bit more hardcore.
And at the same time, they were pressing the hardware, so it was almost fully realized in that sense.
I want to kind of express this in a Zizekian manner, or Slavoj Zizek. How can we view design as coming from the material, the hardware itself? How can we view SH3 as kind of an actor in the creation of this postmodern shmup, where by its own limitation, it's kind of shaping the game design itself by the slowdown, and that's what you kind of communicate directly.
Yeah, that's what I was going for there. Hardware shaping the game design.
directly. Like, not just designing from the limitations of the hardware, but like the hardware just plain limiting what they can do, and them designing around that.
Yeah, you have to wonder if there's comes a certain point when, do they need to upgrade the hardware to really show off any new concepts? Like, is SH3 going to be something, a board that they'll stick with if there are more cave games made, or look to Zaarock,
If I'm not mistaken,
panned out.
Yeah,
they actually used SH3 basically from 2004, maybe 2003, up until their last game in 2012.
That's a pretty long life for arcade hardware, I would say.
Yeah.
And still continued.
It's also pretty hard to emulate because the slowdown is actually hardware reliant, I believe. So, it's hard to write code that emulates that.
So you have some inconsistency in emulation, is what you're getting at? Yeah. And there is. Okay, well, that's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, it's like, well, Dosai Daijo, and if there is another cave game, will it be SH3, or maybe are they thinking about changing the landscape of shooting games again with new hardware? Who knows what could happen still after they make some money from the mobile games.
Yeah.
Or something like
I
that.
mean,
so.
They have made a new shmup though. It's on the iPhone. It's Gothic Maho Wow Tome, and that's raking them in tons of cash.
It'd be kind of interesting to have an episode maybe about that at some point. Maybe we should look into that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
SPS, that Katsui World Record guy, he loves that game.
Cool.
He talks all the time about it on Twitter. He
Cool.
uploads the videos for it too.
Yeah, it's something I personally don't know much about at all, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I think like that stuff with slowdown. I think the novelty is kind of worn off on that. They're kind of they've kind of switched to a better hardware that really lets them realize a little bit different things. Since they kind of they did all they could with that arcade SH3 hardware.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have maybe moved on from SH3 earlier than they did. Rather like earlier on, or for some reason, but it seems like they wanted to kind of realize the SH3 itself. And I think that's been a thing in the past too for some arcade hardware.
Yeah, the deal with SH3 though is that like with Espgaluda II, this was only the second game that they made with SH3, and already I think that they basically realized all that they could really do on it.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of the later games are really just kind of variations on this formula of bullet canceling, these massive patterns and hardware-induced slowdown they kind of introduced in Espgaluda II.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it was a mistake for them to just kind of stick with the same hardware for so long instead of upgrading to something better.
I wonder how they could change it still, with more hardware capability.
Supposedly, I think I read somewhere that this was actually the most successful game that Cave had kind of made up to that point. So you could kind of argue that the story of Cave the story of Cave's later games after this is them kind of trying to replicate the success of this game.
Oh, that's a fair point to bring up. Yeah.
We have a suggestion that we should do an episode about Mecha Ritz.
Let's put it on the Ritz. Alright, sounds good.
Which, by the way, is a pretty cool game.
Alright. Put it on the docket. There we go.
I will.
Okay. Yay! Again, we'd like to welcome, you probably heard Cream Chan from our Raiden episode. She's kind of joined STG Weekly and has been doing a lot of great work. So I just want to give a hand to Cream Chan for joining us. And kind of been responsible for a lot of the whole team getting into gear and doing more regular episodes. So it's pretty much thanks to Cream Chime.
Cream has made STG Weekly great again.
She's the whipping lady of the crew, if you will.
She is the hostess with the mostest.
That's
it.
Thanks for the kind words.
So we need to do 10 more episodes in a row, and then maybe people will forget about like the joke about that we don't do episode each week. Like, how long will it take to redeem ourselves? Is the question.
How long?
The internet never forgets.
That's true. That's true. I've already committed a sin here. I'm sorry, everyone.
Sorry. Well, guys, I got to get going too. But thank you, Gus, for appearing on the episode. Hopefully we can
we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah,
I had a good time here. Thanks, guys, for bringing me on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, indeed. And we'll of course we missed Metal on this episode. Shouts to Metal. Don't forget that he was a vital part of the show in the past.
Yeah. Shouts to Metal. Shoutouts to all my 4chan BG bras.
Yep, shoutouts to them for sure.
Oh gosh, those BG threads. They're something.
I want to see some scores posted from those people in that thread. And if not, like, I don't know, fuck. Okay, that'll do it. That was STG Weekly. Yo, episode 96, Espgaluda II, high scoring replay from Gus, with Gus, and the hosts. Thank you, everyone, and so till next time on STG Weekly.
Later.
All right.